Hi, my name is Jeff Hewitt, General Manager here at Brian Cullen Motors, and today we're talking about the new 2026 Cadillac Optiq. So whether you're looking for a car, a truck, an EV, or even a Corvette, click the link at the top of the description so you can start a conversation with an expert. Look forward to talking to you soon. Yes, I said new Cadillac Optiq. Now I understand, in 2025, the Cadillac Optiq was all new. And when you usually get to the second model year of a build, so this is the 2026 model year, you're expecting basically the same vehicle. Well, interestingly, that is not the case here. We have some significant changes between 2025 and 2026, and it kind of tells you just how fast things are moving at Cadillac and how fast the technology is moving. So this is really quite exciting. First of all, up front here, you're seeing everything is about the same. Now this is a Sport Premium, so that means this is the upper trim level. So everything you're seeing here is mostly standard equipment on this model. There are a few differences, but what you're seeing up front here is the light greeting. I just love how Cadillac is doing this on their vehicles now. They're just timed out on me, but we start it up and it does this beautiful display starting with the crest, going to the center of the grille, and then giving you the full light package as it greets you when you're walking towards the vehicle. I have to tell you, it's one of my favorite things about driving an EV, how it does greet you as you get close to it. But what an incredible car. Let's talk about some of the incredible differences. Let's come down the side here and we'll start with how we charge them. So being a Sport Premium, that means in 2026, the 19.2 kilowatt charging module is standard on this trim level. And the other interesting thing is that this is the first offering from Cadillac with the new, or I shouldn't say new, but with the NACS, North American Charging Standard charge port. In other words, the Tesla charger. And so this vehicle is compatible to use at all those high-speed Tesla charging stations that you see everywhere. Cadillac's done the right thing. Some of you may have the old style charger still at home. This car comes with an adapter so you can still utilize that. So no matter where you're going, you're going to be able to charge this car the way you need to charge it. But that's just one small new addition. This is also more powerful, and this is where it really is quite surprising from year over year. So when this car came out last year, 2025, it was 300 horsepower, which was a great driving vehicle. But what they did over the course of the year is that they were starting to develop the newly released V version for 2026. And so when the Cadillac engineers started working on the V project, they discovered, okay, they're gonna need a larger rear motor. So with that larger rear motor came some more power. And then Cadillac quickly figured out that said, hey, you know what? We're making gains here and it's not costing us anything. So this vehicle went from 300 horsepower to 440 horsepower and 498 foot-pounds of torque. One model year to the next. Unbelievable change. And you know what? They didn't give up any range. Actually, I think they gained a mile or two. So your overall battery range didn't change and you picked up, another, 45% horsepower than what you had before? It's incredible. And it's dropped the 0 to 60 times in this vehicle massively. Last time in 2025, your 0 to 60 were very respectable in the 5-second range. Now you're 4.5 seconds. And oh, by the way, if you opt for the V model, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but if you opt for the V, you're going to be in the low 3s. So this is a vehicle that really performs, amazing to drive. Let's come around the back and take a look at what we got. So before we open the rear hatch, I do have to point out that this now says 700 E4. So if you watched the CT5 video that I did earlier on, you will know that this number is the torque rating for the powertrain in Newton meters. Now, I don't know anybody that talks about a vehicle's power in Newton meters. Yes, that is the metric equivalent for torque, but basically, if you divide that by, it's a 1.3 and change, right? You'll actually get the torque number in what we're used to, which is foot-pounds, and you're gonna see it's right at 498. It's amazing what they've been able to do with this. But here we have the rear hatch, and of course you can open it just by pressing on the emblem. You've got the remote. All things that you would typically expect in a Cadillac. You've got some great rear compartment room. And oh, by the way, it's a really low entry height. Once again, that's because it's an EV. So not only is it easy to get stuff in, it's kind of easy to sit on too. This has been equipped with the floor liner package, so we actually get the cargo liner in the back here. And underneath in the back, you do have your charge cable. So this is for if you're going to the cottage or something like that and you need to plug in somewhere, you can utilize this. It does have a 240 option, so if you have a dryer plug, that'll help it charge further and faster. And then even more faster, you can have your home charger, or like I said earlier, you go to the Tesla charger and you have the quick charge. Everything you expect in a modern EV. Of course, you have the rear compartment cover, a really great access. What a great rear compartment for a small luxury EV. So this is a terrific combination because, and I have to admit, this is one of my favorites. This is the Sky Cool gray interior. It is an Interlux, or it's a synthetic, so absolutely no animals were harmed in the making of this interior. It actually stands up very, very well. And even though it's light in color, the beauty of having an interior like this is that it's cleanable. We've got this massive overhead roof panel here that is clear, lets the light in. We're in a small luxury EV. And realistically, this feels like it has a ton of room. You can see the front seat is well reclined, but I'm 6 foot tall. I've got lots of room. Oh, by the way, it does have the massive AKG sound system in here too. So even if you're sitting in the back here, speakers up here, they're all around, down in the doors, it's gonna sound great too. Let's look in the front seat. So I told you already that the horsepower is way up from last year, and that's because of what they did with the rear drive axle. A couple of other interesting little changes from last year. So now we have a rear wheel drive version. So this is kind of the interesting thing, is that last year, the all wheel drive, we had 300 horsepower, 2 motor, front and back. So now we have this, which is, you know what, it's gonna be our bread and butter, be it in the sport or the premium sport trim at 440 horsepower, but Cadillac has come out with a rear drive version that actually makes more horsepower as a rear drive single motor than what we had last year with our 2 motor all-wheel drive. And so that is coming out this year, and then we're gonna have the completely bizarre V version, which is gonna be just a blast to drive. And let me just check my notes here. Oh yeah, it's gonna have an unbelievable 519 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. We're gonna be in the low 3-second range for 0 to 60 times. It's going to be incredible to drive. One I like about Optic, and I have spent a good amount of time in these, is how nimble they feel. The vehicle feels assured and light. You really have to get down here and test drive. But in the meantime, you have this wonderful 33-inch display. You've got all of this space here, really handy extra compartment here. And realistically, I think General Motors did a really good idea with the Cadillac team at getting everything right. So we do have a center console here, really great inductive charge port for your phone that's easy to manage right there. And I do love this interior color with the Sky Cool gray with the blue accents. Otherwise, everything here is pretty intuitive. So whether you're in an Optic or you're in a Vistic or a Lyric, you're gonna feel all of this to be very, very similar. I love how Cadillac has got this unified feel now in their EVs that is really something oh, you know what? It's good for the senses. It just feels good. Of course, Super Cruise is standard on all Optics. You know what? You let the car do what it does really, really well, and that's take care of you. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that we did option this with a beautiful 21-inch after midnight wheels. For us, that really rounds out this sport premium package. We do like to do the two-tone black roof against the gray, the after midnight wheels. What a package. Really think this does it for the car. Not to mention the 440 horsepower now that you're seeing in Optic. Unbelievable to drive. You have to come down and test drive one of these. 386 Ontario Street in St. Catharines at Brian Cullen Motors. Tell us you saw it on YouTube. We have a special prize for you.